Coming off the bye week, the Titans did unfortunately lose to the Texans 16-13, fall to 1-7 on the season. And right now, well, if you want to look at the positive side, Titans have the first overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. And, well, they're going to have to keep losing if they wanted to keep that. But a valiant effort from the Titans against the Texans in their second matchup in an AFC South Division matchup. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And, of course, we got Overreaction Monday today. And you see right there, a 16-13 loss, a game-winning field goal by Matthew Wright on the Texans. And they didn't dominate this game. The Titans had this one, and Cam Ward, what I think he played his best game of his NFL career, but you still let up 274 yards to the backup quarterback, Davis Mills, as C.J. Stroud was still in concussion protocol. You had your chances, but overall, you fall your fifth straight game and 1-9 on the season. It still feels like rock bottom here in Tennessee. And next week, it doesn't get easier. You face the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming off a loss to the Los Angeles Rams, and they still want to be considered one of the top teams. So it's going to be an ugly one on the field probably, but let's not make it an ugly one here on YouTube. We're going up against our Seahawks channel, Seahawks Today, and right now we're starting here on a Monday at 0 subs each. So let's try to beat them. Let's hit that sub button so all throughout the week we can beat Seahawks Today and give you guys coverage almost every single day. Let's get to my first overreaction to this one. And the Titans, they showed improvement. They showed that they got better from the bye week going up against a divisional opponent the second time. They did not look like they have throughout some games this season where they look like the worst team in football. I mean, offensively, it wasn't any eye-popping numbers. I mean, 229 total yards of offense, 171 passing yards. They weren't throwing the ball deep, and on the ground, I mean, 58 divided by 17, that's not really that great, but overall, only one turnover, a fumble, time of possession, 28-57. You were pretty much taking care of the football between. The Texans did beat you in the time of possession, but you still kept it pretty close between them. And if you go up against the Titans offense versus the Texans, or the Texans offense versus the Titans. 315 yards of offense, 240 passing yards, 75 yards. You kept them 23, which is a 3.3 yards per carry average. You saw the presence felt on that defensive line. Now, they didn't commit any turnovers, but you really made Davis Mills' day, and also the run game, kind of a little bit more tough than usual. And it's a big thanks to Jeffery Simmons for coming back after missing the last couple games with a hamstring injury. And you could see right away that his presence was felt. He played a great game. It wasn't specifically what you wanted to get because you didn't win the game, but overall he played pretty solid. 3 tackles. And I know with defensive tackles, I'm not really saying like those aren't eye-popping because, well, it's only 3, but as a defensive tackle, to get 3 tackles is pretty impressive. 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Jeffery Simmons, he became one of the players in NFL history to record as a defensive tackle about 5 sacks in a season. He's playing great, and also an 89.5 PFF grade, the number 1 spot on the defense. You lost the game, but you looked good while losing. And you had it in hand, but at this point, I keep talking about it over and over and over. You want to get that first pick in the draft. You clinched up your, I think it's 5th losing season in a row since 2021, because 2022, 3, 4, 5, 4th season in a row. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can't do math here. But at this point, you kind of want them to just keep on losing. What did I keep saying? Develop Cam Ward, get the first pick, trade back, get draft capital. But if you want to keep winning games, or if you want to win the game, which I'm sure a lot of the Titans players would, well, it seems like Mike McCoy doesn't, because you keep being conservative over and over and over again. And this has been a huge, huge problem, not only with Brian Callahan, but also with Mike McCoy. They're just being super, super, super scared. Like they're playing not to lose, but they're not also playing for the win. And this one specific part I'm talking about is the touchdown drive. When you drove all the way down the field and tied the game, you are 1-8. You have nothing to lose. Why are you kicking the extra point? Why are you not going for 2 on a possible game-winning drive? Now, granted, it didn't matter because the Texans drove down the field and kicked the game-winning field goal because you left them too much time, but more pressure would have been on their backs if you would have went for 2 and also got the 2-point conversion. If we remember this picture from a couple weeks ago when they didn't go for it on 4th and 3 against the Colts. Cam Ward is like, bro, what the F are we doing? Why are we not going for it? You have to be aggressive. And Cam Ward has talked about being aggressive. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why you're not going for 2 there. If you lose, you lose. You become 1-9 instead of 2-8. If you win, well, you get granted a win, and it looks good on your end because, hey, you're being aggressive. You're going for the win. You're gambling. You have nothing to lose there. And this isn't the first time that we've seen conservative Mike McCoy. Oh, guess what? Earlier in the game, it was 4th down and 2 at the 28-yard line, and you chose not to go for it. You chose to kick the field goal and go up 6-0. You chose to do that instead of trying to go down the field, score a touchdown, and then not going for 2 after the touchdown late. And then if we want to go back, punting on 4th and 3 at the 40 against the Colts, where you had an opportunity to stay in the game, but the second you punted that ball away, game over. And this was Mike McCoy. He talked about it after the game because they asked him, because of course they're going to ask him, why the hell are you not going for 2? And he said, if it's a certain situation, a certain down and distance, we're going to kick the field goal. You're 1-8. You're now 1-9. What do you have to lose at that point? Why are you being conservative? Just say, screw it. Let's go and try to win this game. Let's go and try to score points. Because you'd rather play spoiler. Now the Texans have hope that they can actually make a playoff push. You go for 2 there, you score, you win the game, their season's over. Keep playing spoiler. But now, we're going to be conservative. We're going to take it easy. I think it's dumb. I think extremely dumb. So I'll ask you guys, what do you guys think? Are the Titans being too conservative? Give me a Y for yes, or give me an N for no down in the comments section. I think they're being way too conservative. If you're like 5-5, sure. Then you might kick the field goal, play for overtime because you have something to lose. But when you're 1-9, no. Go out there, go for it on 4th down, do whatever you can to win the game. But you let me know down in the comments section. Got 2 more overreactions to talk about, but first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you could cash in. Did you know Prize Picks invented the flex play? Which means you could still cash out if your lineup is not perfect. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks, and it's Monday night tonight. We got some Monday Night Football action. I got Las Vegas against Dallas. Give me the more on Ashton Genty just to score 1 touchdown. And give me the more on CeeDee Lamb. Dallas' offense is going to get back on track. Give me the more on 1 touchdown. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, let's talk about the no one. Cam Ward is the future. You could see it right then and there on that game yesterday. And you could see how good he is getting. How much better he is getting each and every week. We saw the first couple of weeks. It looked rough with him. Under 50% completion percentage, committing turnovers, throwing interceptions. It did not look good. But as we're progressing through the season, he's getting better and he's getting better. The stats against the Texans, I mean, they're not crazy, but 194 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Did have a strip sack fumble, but those are happen when the offensive line is terrible. QB rating of 87, but the 65 completion percentage. But the main thing that we saw from him yesterday, it was the touchdown drive. It was the composure that he had to drive 95 yards in 11 plays and score a touchdown to Van Jefferson. That was the most impressive part that I saw from him because It takes cool, calm, and collective. Not many quarterbacks in this league can go 95 yards down to score on a game-winning drive where you need a touchdown. Not a field goal. You need 7 points to tie this ball game. And Cam Ward did that, made amazing throws, and he's also on the ground a little bit. There was one run where he ran for 40, and of course it was called back for holding. But 3 carries, 33 yards, 11 yards per carry on the ground, a long run of 20 yards. Cam Ward was sneaky on the field. He was able to read the defense and kind of just sneakily kind of move his way and using his legs to make plays. And if you can do that, well, then you're going to be a good quarterback in this league. I also see that he's adjusting to the bad offensive line. The Texans have the best defense in the NFL right now. Their defensive line is really freaking good. And we know the Titans' offensive line has struggled. J.C. Latham is struggling like crazy, man. Dan Moore Jr. not living up to that contract. But Cam Ward's still adjusting to his tackles, not letting up blockers and making them get to the quarterback. And he's starting to adjust, and it's paying off pretty well. And so you got a future franchise quarterback in Cam Ward. And the last one, Calvin Ridley's Titans career is unfortunately over. It's done. I think we can all say that, it's done for him. He will never play another snap as a Tennessee Titan. I think that he'll be a part of another team next year. And unfortunately, we got the news yesterday that he suffered a broken fibula. I will make note that this man is tough as hell. He walked off the field, sat down, and then when they realized, dude, your fibula's broken, they carted him off. But done for the season. He's going to be out for the year, obviously needs surgery. And I feel for Ridley. This was a tough year for him. He really didn't click with Cam Ward, which I projected that he did. He was also the most targeted player on this team. But a rough go-around. He did get a hamstring injury. This was his first game back in 3 games. And on the first catch, he breaks his leg. But you're probably thinking, well, Brett, why is his Titans career over? Well, it was rumored to be in trade talks. And after this season, if they do release him on that post-June 1, the Titans save $13.7 million in cap. And we know the Mike Borgonzi era, he wasn't the one to give Calvin Ridley that contract. They're kind of transitioning over to those new rookie wide receivers. And if you look at the wide receiver depth chart, the Titans, they have a lot of young wide receivers. Even Bryce Oliver is a little bit young, but Elike Manor, Chimere Dike, those are both rookies. Those are both solid rookies that have been playing good. I'm not going to say great, but they've been playing good this season. And you could see the potential with those. You could see the potential to have great weapons around Cam Ward. And I think that, like a lot of the other moves that they've made, trading away Draymond Jones, that they are going in a direction where, hey, we're going to go into this new regime. We're going to make our own system. And the guys that were here before are not going to be here that longer. So it's time to go to the rookies. And Calvin Ridley, as he's going to have a nice recovery, I think that they're going to not waste his career in Tennessee, but let him go out and go sign with a contender. But you guys tell me, predict it down in the comments section. Who will Calvin Ridley play for in 2026? He's not playing the rest of 2025, but in 2026. Give me a T for Titans, or if you think someone else, give me an O for other down in the comments section. That's going to do it for the latest episode of Titans Today by Chat Sports. Make sure you hit that sub button so we can beat the Seahawks today in the sub battle. So go and do that. And as always, tighten up.